And just so everyone, welcome to the Masters of Science in Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health Spring 2022 information session. It's Spring 2022 already. We're happy to have you join us for today's session. My name is Laura Rodriguez, or Laura, whichever's easier to pronounce. And I am the training director here in the Department of Child and Family Studies at USF. I also work with the Masters of Science in Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health as a new student coordinator. I'm here today with a few of my colleagues, one of them being the director of the CABH program, Dr. Deborah Mowry. And today we are going to be talking about the Master's program components such as the curriculum, different focus areas, career prospects, and most importantly, admissions requirements. We will also hear from some of our faculty members and learn about academic expectations and what you can, what the courses look like, what to expect from those courses. At the end, we'll save some time to answer some of your questions and explain the application process. Now let's get started. And again, let me make one more reminder or announcement that this meeting is being recorded. All right. So the University of South Florida, for those of you that don't know too much about us, our university is a high-impact global research university that's dedicated to student success. Over the past 10 years, no other public university in the country has risen in rank faster than USF, according to US News and World Reports. And I'm sure that's probably changed since the last time that I updated this presentation. We serve more than 50,000 students in total. Excuse me. Deborah, can you manage the lobby? I keep hearing the little rings. So we serve more than 50,000 students on our Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Sarasota Manatee campuses, as well as online. Now, USF is designated as a preeminent state research university by the Florida Board of Governors, placing it in the most elite category among the state's 12 public universities. USF has earned widespread national recognition for its success graduating underrepresented minority and limited income students, which we are really proud. And then USF is also a member of the American Athletic Conference, for those of you who follow sports. Particularly notable is that USF is very affordable compared with other similar universities. The Princeton Review listed USF as one of the best value colleges in 2020. And our graduate programs, including the CABH program, which we are talking about today, have continued to be ranked among the best, according to US News and World Report. Additionally, as you see here, the CABH program has been recognized as a best online master's program in the field of child development for at least 2 years now. Now, regarding our department, our college and our department, the Masters of Science in Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health, at USF is located in the College of Behavioral and Community Sciences. And that makes us very unique. There's no other college like ours that I am aware of in the country. CBCS for short is what we call it, and it was established in 2008 with an emphasis on behavioral sciences specifically. Our college is home to the Louis de la Parte Mental Health Institute, and it has 17, I'm so sorry, 17 specialized research centers and institutes. The college also has approximately 2,600 students enrolled in 8 undergraduate programs, 9 master's programs, and 7 doctoral programs that are housed in 6 academic departments. And a reminder, our department is the Department of Child and Family Studies. Now, the CFS, which is the acronym that we use for the Department of Child and Family Studies, that was established a little earlier than the college itself in 1984, and it is home to the Florida Center for Inclusive Communities, and the Right Path Research and Innovation Center. Again, two centers that we are very proud about and that conduct very active and recognized research. Our graduates enjoy 95 to 100% graduate employment rate after program completion, which is also something that we are proud about, and that is not true for many other universities and colleges. Now, getting into the details of the program itself, our program is fully online and it prepares professionals to serve in public and nonprofit agencies and schools that work to positively impact the lives of children, adolescents, and emerging adults. Students who graduate from our CABH program go on to work in things such as, in positions such as directors, supervisors, case managers in mental health, substance abuse, juvenile justice, developmental disabilities, and nonprofit and child welfare agencies, as well as sometimes consultants in schools and early education and care programs. For those who are interested in continuing their education beyond the master's program, educational opportunities exist for our students to go into doctoral programs in fields such as public health and the behavioral and social sciences. We even have a graduate that went on to an audiology doctoral program, though that's not the typical route that our students will choose. Now, it is important to distinguish that the CABH program is a non-clinical program, meaning that it does not prepare our students for certification or licensure in the fields of mental health or behavioral health. So you will not become a provider through this program. Nevertheless, for those who are interested in the field of addictions and substance abuse, our program may provide a pathway for becoming a Florida State certified addictions professional when it is combined with the addictions and substance abuse certificate, which we can talk privately about after the session. And then we'll also mention some of our other certificates here in a few minutes. So in essence, the CABH program will prepare our students to become behavioral health professionals that will understand service system conditions and develop the tools that will allow them to impact policy, planning, and delivery of children and adolescent behavioral health services, and that will be able to promote the prevention and intervention practices and policies that serve this niche population. Now, our program, as mentioned before, is offered fully online, which is one of our perks. And our courses are offered in what we call an asynchronous manner or asynchronous delivery. That means that its instructional activities do not occur in the same place or at the same time for everyone. Our online format allows our students to complete the course material outside of the normal constraints of time or place and location, given the learning delivery that we've chosen. This means that we have a I'm sorry. There we go. So every course, so we have 3 semesters. We have the fall, the spring, and the summer. The fall and the spring semesters are about 16 weeks long. And in those semesters, our courses are designed in modules. So every week, every course has, let's say it's the fall, we have about 14 weeks in the fall, 4 to 16, depending on the semester. Every week is something that we call a module. And in that module, you will get the learning material for that particular week, and it can include a combination of lectures, readings, interactive activities, and then even though there will be due dates, for example, for assignments or any given project, the way and the time in which you engage with the learning material during that week will be at your own pace. So you can do it in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, whenever you are, available and willing to complete that material. The only things that will have a set time will be those graded activities in each module that will have a due date and that they need to be turned in at a specific time. But otherwise, again, you engage with the material however you wish. Now, students can enroll in our program full-time or part-time, and you can choose from 4 different focus areas, which include developmental disabilities, leadership, research and evaluation, and youth and behavioral health. The program also offers our students, which I think is really wonderful, 2 tracks from which you can choose. Those who are interested a little bit more in a traditional program focused on theory and really interested in innovative research, then they can apply to the thesis track. And then those students who are sort of a little bit more hands-on and are interested in the practical application of the knowledge that they will be learning through the program, those students we encourage to have them apply to the field experience track. Now, our program in total has 39 credit hours, so it's a relatively short program. It takes about, I'm going to say, 2 to 3 years to complete, 2.5, depending on whether you enroll as full-time or part-time. And from those 39 credit hours, 12 credit hours, which means 4 courses, are going to be what we call core courses. So everybody in the program, regardless of their focus area, will take those same 4 courses. Then we have an additional 4 courses or 12 credit hours dedicated to focus areas. So the students will then be divided and they'll complete courses either in developmental disabilities, youth and behavioral health, research, or leadership. And then 9 credit hours in the program are what we call electives, which are mostly used by our students to complete additional graduate certificates. So they add on the courses so they can complete certificates. But in theory, you could complete any other courses that are approved by our director that will complement what you are learning in your focus and your core courses. Now, lastly, we have 6 credit hours that are going to be used to either complete your thesis project or your field experience project. Now, the program has 2 very important benchmarks. These are a comprehensive exam for which students sit after they successfully complete all of their core courses. And then we have, like I mentioned, the thesis or field experience, which is sort of reserved for as the last activity in your program. And after you complete it, then along with all of your other requirements, it would lead to graduation from the CABH. Now, all new students will develop a plan of study with a new student coordinator, and that would be either me or Dr. Jessica Rice, and we'll hear about her in a few minutes. And the plan of study will accommodate the students' schedule and will let them know exactly which courses they need to take and when. Students are also assigned at the very beginning of their program a faculty advisor, which will provide academic advice and support all throughout the program, but especially during the program benchmarks of comprehensive exam and thesis or field experience. Now, I did say that the program takes about 2 to 3 years to complete, but you do have 5 years to complete the program should you need to take it a little bit slower than your peers. Now, this program unfortunately, it cannot be utilized to obtain student visas. So international students can still join our program online, but they won't be able to apply for a student visa because we are a fully online program. And international student visas require you to complete some on-campus time to be eligible. All right. Ms. Deborah, do you want to take the next slide or do you want me to keep going?
Nope, I can go.
All right, go ahead.
Thanks, Laura. Welcome to the CABH information session. I'm glad you guys are all here. So as part of our admissions, the university has minimum requirements that you must meet. You must have a bachelor's degree and a GPA of 3.0. We don't really have a specific bachelor's degree that you have to have in order to apply for our program, but generally our students have a background in psychology, public health, social work, behavioral sciences, education, or either any other type of related field. The program itself does have some additional requirements. We do require a 1-page statement of your goals and your career objectives. We also would like to see a writing sample. This might be a paper from your bachelor's degree. It might be a report that you do as part of your employment. We also would like to get a copy of your resume or your curriculum vitae. 3 letters of recommendation. The letters of recommendation, we prefer for them to be an academic letter of recommendation or from your employer. The GRE for our program is only required if you decide that you are going to take the traditional thesis track. If you decide that you want to take the applied field experience track, you do not need to take the GRE. Our application process is very holistic. We don't look at just one particular piece of the admissions packet. We look at all components. We encourage our students to turn in very well-rounded applications. We need you to have strong letters of recommendation, well-written writing samples, and your resume or your vita really needs to reflect any kind of work experience or voluntary experience that you may have. We do accept applications all year round, but our admissions are, our priority deadline for fall is February 15th. We do continue to accept applications until June 1st. And then we have a spring admissions, and that deadline is October 15th. Next slide, please. Miss Laura, it's for you.
All righty. So students in our CABH program can easily integrate one of our graduate certificates into their program of study. We have 4 certificates that match really well with the CABH program. These are the Children's Mental Health Certificate, which is really popular with those students who are interested in the youth and behavioral health focus area. We have the Positive Behavior Support Certificate, which is really popular with students in the developmental disabilities area or students working in the field of education. We also have, which I think is a really exciting certificate, the Translational Research and Adolescent Behavioral Health Certificate, or ITRE, which is popular with students in the research and evaluation focus area or students really interested in implementation science. And then we also have, as I mentioned at the beginning of the information session, an addictions and substance abuse certificate, which is good for students that are wanting to pursue that Florida certification as addictions professionals. Now, these certificates, what we really like about them is that they enhance the specialized knowledge in the different focus program areas. They are also a way to meet certain certification requirements, like in the case of the substance abuse certificate. And most of our students are able to fit their certificate courses into their plan of study by using those 9 credit hours of elective courses. Now, some certificates like the Children's Mental Health and Positive Behavior Support will not extend your CABH program over the 39 credit hours that we talked about. But then there are others that will extend it by maybe 2 or 3 courses or 6 or 9 additional credit hours. But it's very well worth it based on the return that you get for completing those additional certificates. Now, to obtain a certificate, you will need to submit a separate application, which I recommend you do after you're an active student in the CABH program. And then we have additional scholarship opportunities to cover tuition for some of the courses in the certificates, including the Translational Research in Adolescent Behavioral Health Certificate. And now we have a new scholarship that would partially cover some of your tuition if you become a trainee of the Florida Center for Inclusive Communities and are also enrolled in the Positive Behavior Support Certificate as well. All right, Deborah.
So as Laura talked about, we do have 2 tracks as part of our program. We have the thesis track, which is the more traditional, what most people think is a traditional master's degree. And then we also have the applied or field experience track. So for the thesis track, it will be 6 credit hours that you will take over 2 semesters. Students who decide to take the thesis track, you do need to take the GRE in order to become a part of the thesis track. You will need to conduct and design an original research study, and this will be under the supervision of one of our faculty advisors within the program. You'll design, propose a thesis project, collect and analyze data, and then write a document, a thesis. You will defend your study before a faculty committee. And again, that's over 2 semesters for a total of 6 credit hours. Next slide. Our field experience or applied track is very similar. We have 6 credit hours over 2 semesters. Instead of designing a research study, what our students do is they work part-time at an agency or an organization that's in the area of child and adolescent behavioral health. You will work on an issue that's of importance not only to the site, but also that's of interest to you as the student. Some examples of projects that our students have done have been to create a needs assessment, develop social marketing strategies for a new program, develop a strategic plan for an organization. You might support program development and implementation. Maybe you can conduct community research and evaluation. Can you go back 1 slide, please? So typically with the field experience, students will work in the agency, and that usually is around 8 to 10, maybe 12 hours a week. Once you get into the program, we'll be able to provide you additional information, but there's a certain number of hours that you have to work each semester. Some of those hours are actually within the agency. Some of those are actually working on your deliverables as part of your field experience. All right, next slide. So some of the questions that we get asked are, where can I complete my field experience? We try to help students, place students. If you are not local, many times we're going to be asking you, what are agencies within your area? We have had students from as far away as Australia and Germany. We actually have a student enrolled right now who's from Romania. And so we may not necessarily know what agencies and organizations are in your locale. So we will depend on you, the student, to provide us with some information around what's in your locale. But we will also help you find a site or an agency where you can complete your field experience. We have relationships with local agencies. If the agency or organization is a national or international organization, we can also help and reach out to those. We also have an agency that allows students to complete their field experience remotely. So wherever you're at, the agency itself is in North Carolina, but they are able to allow students to come and complete their field experience remotely from wherever you're at. I think that's it. So here's just kind of a snapshot of some of the agencies where our students have conducted their field experiences over the 7 years that our program has been around. Many of these are local to our area. But again, like you see, the Girl Scouts, the YMCA, those are agencies that are also national that we can actually help you and reach out to those more national places to try to help you obtain a site to do your field experience. So the biggest question that we get asked here in our program is, what jobs are available once I get this degree? Well, there really isn't just a single job or job title for students when they graduate from the CABH program. What we try to do is prepare you, the professional, to serve in a variety of professional positions. They might be working with community, youth, and family agencies and organizations that help to work and promote the well-being of children, adolescents, and emerging adults. We have had students who they get into areas including behavioral health, government, business, not-for-profits, education. Some of them actually will get into research, or they continue on into graduate school. The employment fields, we just completed our first academic program review, which is a review that all programs have to go through every 7 years. And in going through that, the employment areas for our program are really around human services, community health workers, social and human service workers. And in these areas, these are expected to increase from 14 to 17% over the next decade. Next slide, please. Again, this is just kind of a synopsis of basically what I just said. But these are some of the areas where our students are interested in. These are the interest area. It might be juvenile justice, criminal justice, behavioral health. We've had a lot of interest in life child specialist, at least in Florida, a child life specialist or a life child specialist. You can go into that area with a degree in just about any area. You would have to take additional internship hours outside of the program, but our program could be utilized as the academic component for a child life specialist position. Government, non-for-profits, and again, in education.
All right, so now we have some of the members of our faculty here that we would like to invite to make some brief remarks regarding the different focus areas. I'm going to start with, I don't know if Tom is here, but we can go ahead and start with Tom, if he's here, Dr. Tom Massey, and he is in charge of the research focus area.
Hi guys, happy to be here. So I think Dr. Mowry and Laura have probably explained quite a bit about the program and what's expected. So I'll just be real quick. As they mentioned, we have several tracks you can follow, and the research and evaluation track is really aimed more at the kind of traditional master's program where you might be most interested if you'd like to go on to a PhD. Even though you could, of course, with all of the tracks. The idea behind research and evaluation is to provide those skills in, research methods, statistics, data collection, manuscript development, all those things associated with traditional academic research. I think one of the things that makes this a little unique, though, is we are very applied here in the Department of Child and Family Studies, and the research and evaluation track is also very applied. All of the faculty here are very active in the community. I think we all kind of have a consistent conceptualization of, research that focuses on improving the quality of services, research that helps develop new resources, new services, new policies that improve mental health and behavioral health services. So the research and evaluation track really does correspond to that very well. The idea that if we're going to do research, which is going to be in a situation where we're engaged with the community, we care about the folks we work with. We want to understand what is needed in the community and how we can bring science to bear or academic research to bear in a way that improves services. The other thing we might talk about real quickly, also the translational research certificate was already mentioned. We have an Institute for Translational Research Education, which is federally funded. And the courses that are aligned in that institute are also those that are on the research and evaluation track. And this is federally funded, and it provides funding for up to 15 hours of research of research coursework. And so if you're interested in that, you can look up to the ITRE website. That's itre.usf. If you just Google that, you'll find it. And it's just a way of, again, providing the academic and research-oriented education about evaluation in the community, research in the community, and it's blended with a service learning component. With regards to the students who have gone through the research and evaluation track, I think about half of them have taken a thesis option, even though that's not required in a course. And the idea, again, we emphasize the opportunity to work in the community, develop an understanding of how research and evaluation and the use of evidence-based practices can improve the quality of services in behavioral health and mental health services. And obviously, if you're interested, you can contact me. And let me just stop there. I don't know how our time is, but I don't want to run over. I want to give everybody else a chance. By all means, though, you can contact me at massey@usf.edu if you want more information, or obviously contact Dr. Mowry as well.
Thank you. We're okay on time, just so that everybody knows. And I received a request I want to mention really quickly. One of our participants is asking for a copy of the presentation slides for easier review. I'll be happy to send that after the presentation is over. All right, and then we also have Dr. Matt Foster, who works or manages the research question for the comp exam, and we would like for him to make some remarks as well.
Hey everyone, it's nice to meet everybody. I'm Dr. Foster. In addition to my appointment in CFS, I'm also one of the founding members of the Right Path Research and Innovation Center that was mentioned earlier. I conduct intervention and evaluation research, as well as research focused on factors that support academic and social emotional development among children. So I support Tom's arm of the program with the research and evaluation arm by teaching the course on research and evaluation, as well as scoring the comprehensive exam for that course. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them as well in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. And participants, you can start, maybe you have any questions, you can start putting them in the chat and we will make sure to address those as we go along with the presentation. Now we can hear from the Youth and Behavioral Health lead, Kathy Sowell.
Yeah, hi everyone. Great to be with you this afternoon. As Laura said, I lead the Youth and Behavioral Health focus area, and I also, sorry about that, I also lead the Children's Mental Health Graduate Certificate. And as was said, they blend nicely together. And really you can complete them without any additional coursework. As I like to say, you can feed two birds with one seed by completing both of those together. And our focus is really on, I mean, Tom said it really well, it really is about, we are an applied field. And that what we focus on in youth and behavioral health is really the integration of cross disciplines of mental health, child welfare, juvenile justice, education. So you really do learn how to apply what we learn about children's mental health in a number of different disciplines, and hopefully be able to go into those disciplines and add that value to those spaces. So as Tom said, also if you want to contact me, I think my information might be provided later, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about youth and behavioral health focus area and or the children's mental health certificate. So we hope to see those of you in the future or apply for the program. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, and representing the leadership focus area, we have Ana Abella.
Hi, thanks, Laura. So I'm actually, Dr. Linda Callejas is the lead for this focus area, but she was unable to make it. So I'll share a little bit about the focus area and highlight a couple of courses just to give you a feel for what they're like. So the leadership focus area, as it sounds, is intended to prepare students who are interested in leading either agencies or departments in the child and adolescent behavioral health field. Applied Leadership 1 is one of the courses that would fall under that focus area. And for instance, in that course, we really review leadership styles, what they've meant traditionally, also how they're applied to this field specifically, because this field is very different from corporations or business or other industries. And also, there's a lot of reflection in this class on what leadership styles mean for students. And that's something that you'll see across many of the courses, is that it's, there is an academic component, of course, of learning new concepts, but also some kind of hands-on application or reflection. I also teach the program development and implementation course, which really delves into evidence-based practices and implementation science, which is a common thread through many of our courses. Also really focusing on community context in these kinds of agencies and programs, understanding the needs of target populations and implementation frameworks. There's a little bit of focus on evaluation in that course, but there's also a whole course in that as well. So again, that course has many hands-on application components throughout it, as you'll see in the program in general. And I also just want to add that our department really is different from many other sorts of traditional academic departments, in that many of the faculty and instructors have more research responsibilities. So that's a benefit to students, in that, as Dr. Mallory mentioned, we have a lot of connections with different agencies because of that. And it also allows that research to inform our teaching and just help students with identifying either field experience placements or even sometimes connecting them with jobs afterwards. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you. And I want to highlight, we also have here Dr. Jessica Rice, which is part of our admin team, but she's also faculty in the program, and she teaches a really cool course called, I think maybe I'm saying it right, The Business of Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health. So I was wondering if you wanted to make a few remarks.
Yeah, thank you so much. And again, welcome everyone. We're so happy to have you here, and hopefully you're finding the information shared during this time insightful. Yeah, I teach a business of behavioral health course that's going to be offered this summer to really kind of prepare folks seeking to engage in the profession with some business background, learning about nonprofit organizations, funding, grant writing, how to kind of function if you're providing any type of billable service, how to be part of finance committees in agencies, schools, or different organizations. So really kind of to equip future professionals with skills that will be beneficial in a wide range of contexts. Some background that sometimes as behavioral health professionals, we're not always kind of taught about, but really practical skills that will hopefully be really useful. I also, as Laura mentioned, assist with onboarding, so kind of pairing new students with their advisors, allowing them the opportunity to connect with advisors. And something that I think is really unique and special about our program is that the mentorship provided with the advisor happens really early on. And we have so many advisors as part of this information session that really just support students as they're selecting courses, as they're navigating some of the benchmarks of the program. So I think it's just a really unique collaborative dynamic that allows our program to stand out, and I think really serves students well and support students, that you can partner with experts in the field, just like Dr. Bella said, with folks who are engaged in research, and leverage their expertise, their connections, their insights to help students navigate the program. So it's an honor to collaborate with the faculty in that capacity, and certainly with students as well.
Thank you, Dr. Bell and Dr. Rice. And then finally, we have Dr. Christopher Batland. He's the focus area lead for the developmental disabilities focus area. And I apologize that I don't have his name. I wasn't, I guess I missed his confirmation, but I'm really happy he's here. And there's no one better to talk to you about the developmental disabilities focus area. Dr. Batland?
Sure, thanks, Laura. I'm Dr. Chris Batland, and as Laura just mentioned, I am lead faculty for the developmental disabilities focus area, as well as the positive behavior support certificate. I'm also a research faculty here at the Florida Center for Inclusive Communities, which is housed within this department at USF. And Florida Center for Inclusive Communities, or FCIC, is a UCED, or University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities. And so we do a lot of work, a lot of applied work, a lot of technical assistance work and development work and research related to supporting individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. And so the students who come into this program, and especially those who are part of the developmental disabilities focus area, have the opportunity to participate as trainees within our UCED and to have that added experience of getting to know what the most recent research is in developmental disabilities and some of our work across the state and across the country. And so our UCED also has within it has a bunch of different projects. And so we have a positive behavior support project that works with districts across the state on implementing systems to support their work, frameworks that they can use to implement practices. And then we have an early childhood positive behavior support program that does very similar work with early childhood programs. And that's a lot of the root of our PBS certificate, which is one of the certificates that was mentioned earlier as part of this program. And so students who come in who are interested in that certificate program have the opportunity to learn from people here who are doing this work, working with schools and school districts and at the state level on developing systems around educational environments, but also for students who are not interested in education, but interested in positive behavior support in other applications. We've had students who are interested in vocational supports, in family supports and community, and that's also an option and something that people have been able to pursue with the certificate program. The developmental disabilities focus area works hand in hand with some of the other focus areas. Of course, we have the same core courses, but then we also will delve a little bit deeper into systems and services that are specific to individuals with developmental disabilities across the lifespan. And so we have students who are interested in supporting families of young children, who are interested in early childhood programs, schools, and then up through adulthood. We have students who are interested in adult services, in vocational services, residential, and community-based services. And I think that's one of the really neat things about this program. It echoes what other people have said, that students come from a variety of backgrounds and with a variety of interests. And so we can learn not just about this one silo of, this is what I do early childhood, but can see the whole span of supports and services and have conversations in which we see how these are interconnected, or at least should be interconnected. I think that's all for me, but you want to follow up, I think my contact information hopefully be on this too.
We will share it, yes, for everyone that presented today. All right, before we jump into questions, I want to offer our academic administrator, Sandra Dronell, the opportunity to add on anything she thinks we might have missed. She is our superstar, and she takes care of everything from applications, certifications, graduation. I mean, anything. We wouldn't be able to run this program without her. So, Sandra, is there anything you would like to add?
That's very nice. Thank you.
It's the truth.
No, I think, thank you. Everything's been covered here. Absolutely. I am usually one of the first points of contact for applicants into the program. So any questions that anyone has regarding the application process, I'm happy to help answer. I'm happy to help guide anyone through that process. And I'm usually a point of contact for all administrative things, all paperwork that kind of happens once that application is submitted, then all the way through toward the end of, all the way through to the end of the program. So my contact information is on here at the end as well. And again, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. All right, so now we are opening the floor in case there are any questions, but as you can see on the screen, I've put the information. Oh, Dr. Mary, I'm sorry, I didn't put your your phone number, but we have the contact information for Sandra, who just spoke, and she can put you in contact with anybody else that has been presenting here today. There's the contact information for myself and for Dr. Jessica Rice. We also, if you can want to start with us, we can answer any questions, and then we can refer you to anybody else that you would like to speak with, including the faculty that has spoken here today. And then our program director, Dr. Deborah Mowry, here's her email, but I'll make sure to send a follow-up email to all of the participants with both her email and her phone number in case you want to reach out to her. So are there any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself if you would like to speak, or you can use the chat. That's funny. All right. Well, if there are no questions, we will go ahead and end the presentation. Thank you so much for your time. If there's anything or any questions that you think of after the presentation has ended, again, please feel free to email either Sandra, myself, or Jessica. We would be more than happy to answer those questions. If nothing else, thank you so much for your time, and you have a good afternoon. All right, I think it's just us.
Good job.
Yeah, I forgot to say at the end, apply, but right. Let me stop recording.
That was great, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 6 people. One came in and out a few times. I wonder